So Patrick Mahomes still has a good day against this really good Saints defense. They played past the whole game, it seemed like, really until that
Hmm.
very end there. Mahomes, in one of his quotes, said that, yeah, they started playing man and were running linebackers up to stop the run. So then we threw the ball. Obviously, that's what you're
Yeah.
going to do in that situation. But so they played two safeties back almost the whole game, which is probably the best way to stop the Chiefs' uh, offense, you'd have to assume, but you have to have guys that are fast too, that to counter
Right.
what the Chiefs have. So, and the Saints are kind of like that perfect defense, I think, to kind of stifle the Chiefs' offense. But you look at the score; they still scored 32 points.
Yeah. If you play the two deep and your
Mhm.
front four can get pressure and your cornerbacks can play great man or you play very disciplined zone. That's the way to slow down the Chiefs offense. Not even beat
Right.
them, to slow them down. And honestly, this was one of the more impressive games from Mahomes this year. I felt
Hmm.
he had to run for his life pretty much the whole game, and make. Tony Romo was talking about it during the game. He had to make a lot of Mahomes magic plays,
Yeah.
and he did that a lot. So you could tell he was getting rattled a bit, though. Some of the throws were a bit off at times, but when it was like third down and long, he was constantly just converting them. When he had to make a tight window throw in a high pressure situation, he would do so. And they converted in the red zone too. That's a
Hmm.
big thing. They had issues with that recently. They brought out some interesting plays. Mahomes and some of the Kelsey and Hill made some great plays near the red zone, and they scored. They converted. So that was a big too. So I was pretty impressed with the Chiefs offense. I was not going to harp on the offensive line with all their injuries. So I understood this was probably
Hmm.
going to happen with a great Saints defensive line. It was kind of discouraging seeing Fisher getting beat constantly. So,
Yeah.
but he has a bad back, so we don't know how that's affecting him. And Trey
Hmm.
Hendrickson's a great defensive end. So,
Right.
uh, I was pleased all around, honestly, with the Chiefs offense today.
I think that considering the situation the Chiefs' offensive line was put in, I think they did fine. They didn't exceed my expectations by any means,
No.
but they didn't,
Yeah.
let me down. I guess we knew that they were going to get pressure, right? We knew that Patrick Mahomes was probably going to get sacked when you have a natural guard playing tackle. That's going to happen, especially when he's going against Cam Jordan.
And
So
honestly, Tucker, honestly, Andrew Wiley had a decent game, all things considered.
he did, yeah,
He wasn't the one that was actually getting beat off the edge constantly. That was actually Fisher on Trey Hendrickson. So
yeah.
you know what? We bashed Wiley a lot on here, and he had a fine game today. I don't really have much
Mhm.
more to say about him. It was kind of just sometimes you could just tell it was like the cohesiveness of the unit was just causing pressures. And the Chiefs
Mhm.
did not change their game plan. They were still going for long developing routes, and it's like they were
Right.
playing with fire a lot of times. But Mahomes has like a fire hose, so it didn't really matter that they were playing with fire. Um, it still worked, and I think Andy Reid just knows that he just has to let Mahomes be Mahomes,
Right.
and he was that today, and that is why I think he did play himself back into the MVP conversation. And in fact, I think right now it's literally just a dead heat. I don't think
Mhm.
either Rodgers or Mahomes are ahead right now. I think they're just literally tied.
It would not shock me if this is the year that there's co-MVPs. I think both of these players have played extremely well, and maybe some voters are going to have a hard time trying to decide, who is actually the true MVP. There's obviously going to be some Mahomes people. There's going to be some people who tend to go to Rogers camp. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I don't know. Does it have to be a true split in votes for it to be a co-MVP, or
I don't know.
uh,
Yeah, I don't know how co MVP worked. Maybe it's they don't get the majority of the votes. Maybe Josh Allen steals some votes and both get under
that's
25.
true.
I don't know how it works. But I think right now co MVP might actually be fine, but
Hmm.
honestly think that's kind of a cop out too. I think
Yeah.
just decide on one.
Hmm.
If you're gonna vote and you're gonna award the award, just decide on one and just give them it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be mad if Mahomes lost it to Rodgers personally. Unlike the noise for Breeze back in 2018, where I did not think he deserved an MVP over Mahomes, this year Rodgers does. If he gets it, he would have deserved it. So I don't really care either way. I just think Mahomes definitely made up some some room this week
Oh
because
yeah.
I think the Packers proved that they can win without Rodgers bailing them out. I don't know if the Chiefs can do that. I don't know if they can have Mahomes have an actual just pedestrian game and win. Um,
Right.
the only time we've seen it this year is maybe the Patriots game. That was probably the defense's best game of the year. Other
Yeah.
than that, I think they would needed Mahomes to be Mahomes. But the Packers just won without Rodgers really being Rodgers. So